Hey, we're about to start the show, and you know the drill. If you've been here before and you have something important to share, please add a capital letter Q to your comment. And if you are watching live for the first time, please let us know by writing the word new, and we'll give you a nice little welcome. Enjoy the broadcast. Where did this week go? I think it was just yesterday that we were doing the Friday song, and it's like all of a sudden it's Friday again. I was not prepared for that, but I am prepared for you. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday morning. It is Friday, March 15. We are in the middle of the month. We are getting close to Semana Santa. I am getting close to Guadalajara, and it is the weekend, so I hope you have awesome plans for today. Here we are at Coffee and Headlines, where, as always, we're going to share whatever news we found from our city, state, and government. Okay, it's going to be one of those. City, state, and country. Well, we also feature government news, but we already knew that. And I have a couple of show and tell thingies, and I have a great story to share with you that came from Carmen Porras. And I am just happy to be here with you all. So, and I have an earworm. Since we have announced our next music appreciation performances, I have Tango in my ears and I can't get rid of it. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? Let us start with the news first, and we'll take it from there. So we've been talking about banners that are in Emiliano Zapata and are not supposed to be there by the book. And just like that, the advertiser banners that plague the neighborhood are gone. Well, some of them anyway. According to this report from Tribuna de la Bahía, personnel from the permits department removed 125 banners from the street out of a total of 185. You see, 60 banners were not removed because they did have a permit. So I bet you're wondering, well, if these banners are not allowed and the banners from one specific venue remained because they do have a permit, you're probably wondering, and I was too, well, how did that specific venue get the permit to begin with? And the funny thing is, when you ask that question to the permits department guy, Salvador Gutierrez, all he says is, well, they have a permit and he shrugs. So that's the way that it goes here in sunny Puerto Vallarta. Moving right along, speaking of sunny Puerto Vallarta, according to this report from Vallarta Opina, Puerto Vallarta is set to break tourism records during Semana Santa, which is coming in less than 2 weeks. Tourism authorities are hoping that hotel occupancy during the 2 weeks Santa and Pascua will be between 85 and 90%. This is hotel occupation. And of course, I'm hoping that all kinds of wonderful films will be premiered on Netflix during Semana Santa because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay home and enjoy the groceries that I bought way ahead in advance and allow for tourists to enjoy the city for 2 weeks during the year while we seek shelter in the comfort of our own homes. But that's just me. That's my approach to Semana Santa. And finally, according to this report, there is still a lot of work to be done along the Isla Rio Cuale when it comes to garbage and construction debris disposal. This is, of course, a complainer report from Tribuna de la Bahía. And it goes like this. When the river current rises, it creates erosion and damages to structures. And because there is no specific program in place for the city to address these issues or to fix the locales and buildings that are located within the isla, a lot of times the same folks that use the locales to sell their chingaderas, they fix the stuff themselves. And in the process of fixing stuff themselves, they decide, well, as long as we're fixing something, let's add a balcony or let's add this, that, and the other. And they perform the fixes, but not in an expert way. They leave a lot of debris behind, and it is what it is. There's very little we can do about that. But I thought you should know, or at least be mindful of the fact that, running a city and keeping it spit spot is and clean and welcoming and all that stuff is not a walk in the park. Hopefully, the administration that will take over this year will be more mindful of that moving forward. And let us take a look. Speaking of moving forward, I was stalling for a moment. I don't know why. Let's take a look at the weather and see. Oh, it's partly fucking cloudy, says our snarky weatherman. I love it. It's 23 degrees. Humidity is back. I felt it yesterday. It is at 69% today, so it is humid out there. And I'm seeing my name in the comments. I'll get to that in a second. The weather forecast for today says we are going to enjoy a humid day with partly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 27 and a low of 18. Then tomorrow, Saturday, will be humid with mostly cloudy skies through the day with a high of 27 and a low of 19. And finally, Sunday will be a humid day with mostly cloudy skies again, a high of 27 and a low of 19. And I want to continue with a lovely show and tell that I received this morning. Let me set this up first because this is brand spanking new to me. I received a lovely couple of photographs from Carmen Porras at Oculto, along with a sweet message that she asked me to relay, and I'm happy to do that. The Oculto team would like to thank Coffee and Headline supporter Dennis Moran for bringing his friends and neighbors from his building to Oculto for a secret dinner this past Thursday. They tasted a very Mexican menu that included smoked pork, smoked pork and fruit mole, which is known as mancha manteles or tablecloth staining mole. That's what we call it in Spanish. They all come from Quebec in Canada and spend the winter here in Puerto Vallarta. It was a great group, and they had a lot of fun, as much as our Oculto team. And a special connection was made with Julie and Yannick when Carmen walks her dogs in the morning by Riviera del Rio Pitillal. Carmen always says hello to them, but they didn't know about Oculto or Carmen being one of the owners. So it was a huge surprise for everyone when they walked into Oculto and they were greeted by Carmen in French. And we all realized that they knew each other. So Carmen is happy. I am happy. I just love these connections. And of course, Carmen was with us in the latest episode of The Spotlight to tell us a little bit about what's going on in her restaurant. I am happy to say that we have already being contacted by one event organizer that is going to join us in the next broadcast this coming Wednesday, and I'm hoping that others will do as well. Again, if you are an event organizer and you're looking for an audience, well, we are an audience looking for event organizers to tell us what makes their events wonderful and special. And hopefully other event organizers will join us this week and momentum will continue to move forward. A couple of reminders and a couple of new events. First of all, I'm happy to see that La Bodeguita del Medio has resumed their salsa dancing lessons. The lessons are aimed at beginners and take place several days of the week. So if you are interested, just take a look at this event, which of course I will share in the show notes as usual. And as I mentioned yesterday, we have our 2 music appreciation presentations for April all figured out and announced. Well, not figured out, not yet anyway. But on Thursday, April the 4th, we will tackle a REQUIEM retrospective, exploring diverse interpretations of the Mass for the Departed, of which there are over 2,000 compositions out there, believe it or not. We will not cover 2,000. We will take a look at a bunch of them and figure out what makes them special. And then we will use a beautiful composition by Astor Piazzolla called Libertango as our grounding point or a point of reference to explore the transition between traditional tango and Nuevo tango that took place in Argentina. Of course, Libertango is one of the most iconic compositions of the new tango movement. It has been arranged for all kinds of instruments all over the world. So we will have a taste of that, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope you are too. These presentations, of course, as always, take place at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, always on Thursdays and always at 5 p.m. Find all the information about them in the show notes. And now, let's take a quick look at what you're up to, just to see what your plans are for the weekend and questions that you may have. A capital letter Q always goes a long way. So, let's take a quick look. I see good mornings. Yesterday, of course, we had wonderful lunch with Albert, who told us all about his adventures in Guadalajara, and that totally made my day, got me excited about my upcoming trip. Let's see what else I see here. Dan and Kathy have been having problems with plumbing. Not their own, but the one on the street. So they've been waiting for Zapal to fix some issues. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you guys. Michal, I hope you're feeling better. It's great to see you here. And I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Let us see what else we have. Carmen asks, hello, Carmen. It was great to read you this morning. And that is a great question. I wonder if they will recycle the banners. That plastic is great for large market bags. You know, when I used to work at Vallarta Lifestyles and we used to do Restaurant Week, we used to collect the old banners, and I used to send them out to Entre Amigos in San Pancho, and they repurposed the banners. And you are correct. Those city banners are wonderful for market bags. I don't know of anybody that is doing that, and how wonderful it would be if we could make that connection. Let's see what else we have. Diane says, good morning. We are planning to head to Pitillal this afternoon to explore. I did review March 3rd, 2021 walking video. I am hoping to get a taco or birria recommendation. I thought I remember you mentioning a place, but it was not in this video. My favorite taco place in Pitillal is Tacos Neto, Neto. I am sure you can find them on Facebook, and it is a really, really wonderful place. And I hope you have a good time in your exploration. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Let's see what else we have. Paco, can you define event organizers for the spotlight? It is just events you are looking for to feature, or is this for businesses and such as well? It is for anyone that is planning an event. For example, if you are a business that is just opening, we would love to hear more about your new business. If it is about a restaurant that will have like a special menu during a certain week, or that is introducing changes that is newsworthy, that is an event. If you are a performer and you want to tell us about why your performance is amazing, that is an event. If you're a fundraising organization that is going to have a fundraising event in town, or a community theater organization that is going to have a play, all of those are events. And we've had a lot of success. Daniel is one of my guardian angels when it comes to broadcasts and technology. We've had a lot of success in the first two shows that we've done. The first one was the pilot a week ago tomorrow. Then we had the first Wednesday, and that's the permanent slot. So we are looking forward to continuing to do this on Wednesday afternoons, and invite anyone that wants to tell us about what they're up to and why we should attend their events. And I see that, oh, how lucky you are, Rita. Rita is looking for a place to display her beautiful photographic work, which she shared with me the other day, and her photos are very unique and very clever. If anybody is a restaurant owner or a venue or an art gallery and wants new, fascinating photographic works, get in touch with Rita. In the meantime, boom, 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 boom. I'm so glad that you get to see Mark tomorrow with Amy. It's the last show, so I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. And that is the end of today's broadcast. Yes, I don't see any more questions, so we're going to start queuing our end of the broadcast stuff. As always, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for joining me every single day. So many things that I'm working on this week. I'm just so excited and grateful to have a purpose. You are a big part of that. So have a great weekend. I'll be back tomorrow morning, of course, with more coffee and headlines, and hopefully I'll see you there. In the meantime, have an awesome Friday.